So who feels like planting? Right on. We have small jiffy pots, we have coir little things, and this is the main area that we're going to do. We're trying to not get too much soil so we can't all carry it together. We want the larger plants towards the center. I think with these small jiffies, if we can get some of the sedges and maybe even one of the smaller rhizomes of the cattails, we just want to jam them down in here, right down in here like that, and just do that because this is mostly for flotation, but if we can get this planted, then we're gaining a lot of surface area, so that would be super cool. So yeah, just get creative. We can't mess this up, except by making it too heavy for us to carry. That's the only mistake we can really make right now. This looks like a bacopa to me, but it probably isn't because of where we are. But maybe there is in North Carolina, and then this is the arrowhead, and that one is a sedge, but I don't remember which one. This is a sedge.
John, the sedges get like, how big are they? Like, they're in the big part in the middle then.
Yeah, I would, because you got that one in a nice, I would put that in one of the flotation areas between the K-Pock bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
It works pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going both ways.
Two more football fields.
Obviously we have this sedge, which is the most of, and so making sure everybody else gets on the island is probably, and then we'll just fill in all the rest with sedge. And if you need a knife or pruners to get the sedge apart, we'll try and find something. What was the name of the tree that the K-Pock comes from?
K-Pock or Ceiba tree.
Ceiba, okay.
Ceiba.
And it's fast growing?
Yeah, it's,
Does the wood have any value?
You can take cuttings from it and grow it from cuttings.
Oh wow, okay.
You want to throw it in there real quick? No, that makes sense. I bet we have a machete too. If that. There you go.
Is this a cattail? This
Does that pull apart now?
Just one that kind of exotic sounding name for necessary.
bags over there with those dirt in it. That's for
Just put this straight in, or do you want?
what was that called, Pat?
One more. Put it,
Highly valuable unless you have it.
it's gotta have some of the soil mixer somewhere. So yeah, I would put it in this or one of the bigger ones like that. If you feel like taking one of those things and planting it, or just one of these and in between the
Want to try
K-Pocks.
that? See if that's any help. Cut it. Just kind of use it like a knife.
Use it like a knife.
Yeah.
Hey John, remember who you are?
Which John? Somebody John.
John Henry.
John Henry. Yeah. There you
So,
go.
do you think we could find more pruners? So, like, once we get the plants in, some people who want to prune plants could sort of prune everything back because any biomass that's tall is going to die off in this process.
Yeah. We have one set, so that's still pretty good around here. Shears would be great. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's going to be perfect.
Use it just like it is?
No, but here, watch yourself. I got a slippery machine.
He said just saw it. And it
I
did.
would just. Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I was able to just cut like a
I'm
knife.
just like, okay. Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it went smooth. Pretty darn sharp. Now, are these small enough to use like they are? Or just make
Let's break that one in half again.
4 pieces this one?
And we don't have to use all this sedge here. You can go back and. Yeah. Okay. Oh, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Don't worry about chopping the tops off now. When we get to the other farm, we got all kinds of food. So we'll get them there. Yeah, that's the solution. We put a big piece like that.
In there.
So these pots are nice. Do a nice little lily and bacopa thing going on here. We need to knock some of the soil off these daylilies. No, just knock the soil off, yeah.
So can you explain the daylilies to me? Like I think of them as like dry and not wanting their feet wet.
No, they do seem to do
They
really
don't
well.
care?
Yeah, no.
Oh, sweet.
They're just like, they'll, oh wow, look how good everything looks. The only thing that we want to do is get those a little lower, smush them down a little further if you can. But we don't really know how high this is going to float yet, right? But yeah, maybe we'll fine tune it from the edge of the bank. I think this is going to float really beautifully, and I think it's going to float at right about this level. I'm hoping. So just the bottom of these jiffy pots will get wet.
Jonathan, can we move this over and tuck it in?
Of course we can. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Oops.
There's a lot of overlap, right?
Yeah.
Well, no. If you tuck it there, it's just going to fall out as soon as you lift it up.
Oh, you want to tuck it up into there?
Piece of bamboo. I'm just thinking if we could put something right here, but maybe I'm trying to be too. Is that going to fall through? Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. It might fall through.
Yeah, no, I like it. We can then maybe put a nail right in here in the quar and everything like that.
Is it better to use the pot or just to put it right on top?
I think the pot's going to contain the soil in and around it, and that's going to be underneath. So yeah, I think the pots are a good idea.
How many layers of that burlap?
One should only be necessary, but what's you guys' logic for putting down the second layer here?
To get a weave in here.
To get a weave in? Gotcha. All right, cool. Yeah, of course. Everything. Yeah.
So like with this coconut core in the middle, and then you do the coconut pots on top. Why can't you just plop them and like mound soil on top of them?
With this, you actually could. This has just sort of been an organic
Right.
design, but you could if we were doing it right next to the pond. That would be a much better idea.
Carry it.
Right, and so now we got to kind of do that, and this lets kind of people do separate little planting. But no, I think if we were doing another one and a bigger one, like right next to the pond, yes, exactly.
So there's not like a logistically, it's just a logistics.
No, like we were going to before we figured out that we were going to use the bamboo for buoyancy, we were going to take river cane and weave it down there just for a matrix to hold everything on, and then the logic of the quar would hold everything back, and so
Right.
yeah. But now it's
evolving.
It's evolving faster than we can control. Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, this has been a great opportunity because.
I'm going to prune the top of the sedges here, or the chunks.
Please do. Yes, it's bothering my OCD a little bit, so that's.
I think we could use
Are you cutting
material
them
and
back
stuff it in.
to force the root growth?
No, I usually prune it back really hard because the original biomass usually dies as it adapts to being an aquatic plant.
Oh.
And then it comes back and
I see.
as an aquatic
Being
plant.
dead.
Yeah. This is really cool.
So Jonathan, looks like they're running out of pots. Are you ready to start using soil and plants?
Sure. I mean, let's get everybody around it just to pick it up, see if we can, and then we can decide how much more soil we can afford. Ah, yeah.
Oh, 10 more tons.
On another truck. And then hopefully somebody's got we got John Henry with the shorts on, so when we need to go in the water, John Henry's going to be just adjusting the final level on all these jiffy pots. So you guys did such a great selection. I love all these short plantings and the creepers on in the flotation area. And I love this. I think this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful island. And I think it'll even get beautiful this year. Usually it's the second year, but I think it's going to get beautiful this year.
Hey, I feel like putting this down here and putting plants over it. Is that all right?
Why don't you?
Biomass or no?
I'm thinking, should that go over the plant? Yeah, it should go over the soil, right? Because we want to trap the rotting stuff. Yeah.
Do you want this in there?
Yeah, so long as we can still lift it. And my motto is strong like bull, smart like tractor, so we're good to go.
Are you gonna trim all of this stuff, Henry?
This one doesn't have a pot, but it's okay, right?
We only got 2 pumps of that, I think, so. Okay.
Hey Patrick, if this floats too well, you're gonna have to designate somebody to go out to it and sink it once, to just stand on it once a week.
I can think of a few people I could do that with.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the other Italian honeybees are invasive.
Okay, I'll pick it up.
Is that the rest of them? Split this one. Yeah. Pretty big. I think we might use some for plants.
It's a beautiful science and attempt at preservation that's unchanged.
Ah, good, yeah.
Yeah, oh, God. And but you know, it's easy to manage. People try cutting it. What I used to do, real redneck, but I put a choke chanting on it, put it from my truck and 4-wheel drive low. And
Soil stuff in here in your
Maybe this one will help pop it up. Let's do it. Yeah.
you just want to
Well, but will cows eat it? I know goats will.
Pigs will eat it, and it's medicinal.
And so the
The bittersweet is, or the
Multiflora rose.
the multiflora rose? Okay, yeah. Guys, I think this island has got as many plants as it's going to take. No mas.
Good luck stopping these guys.
Hey, put down some more mushrooms in that hole. Let's put down the rest of some more of the myco stuff. We got to save some for the bank, but let's see if we can't get a mycelial community happening there.
You do know I have tons more mycelia in the car, right?
Yes, because we're going to use that on the riverbank. If it, yeah.
Yeah, it's for the riverbank. Creek bank, actually. I mean,
Creek
pond
bank. Well, we saw 2 areas on the entrance to the school that we thought would be good candidates for it.
Okay.
If it gets established before it gets washed away.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'll be a test, but actually.
But I also wanted to save some of these plants to take to the school and to plant wherever we put the mycelia.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't think these things might not just float right out?
No, I think that we'll get them to the right level, and
Okay.
I think it's going to float about halfway down the 4x. I'm guessing, but I could be dead wrong. But we'll see. And if they do, they do. We'll figure out something else. Because we got John Henry in shorts, and so we can get anything done once it's in the water.
You know, I mean, that's.
And I'm really generous with offering his aquatic services.
We actually have 2 canoes at least, too.
Oh, right.
We're going to have to see it. Okay, here's a potential thing that we might have to address. This has got a lot of its original soil with it, and there's not a lot of the planting soil. So we'll see how it floats, but if this is too high, we'll yank this one out and put some more coarse. So we'll bring a couple buckets of the planting material down. So if anything just looks like it's too high or needs replanting, we should just have a couple buckets that we bring with us. But not in the minty fresh white truck. Let's load it and go. Do we have a cinder block and
And a rope?
rope? We
have
do got the
rope.
rope outside.
We'll find a cinder block.
Okay.
I'll look in the block and take one out.
And we'll take that coil of rope and we'll just tie it to the shore while we work on it.
Trailer. We get the trailer on the truck, I'll bring it around.
Right on. Well, I'm not going in the water.
Famous last one.
This has been fun seeing to come together because yesterday it was just 4x4s and a vague idea, and this is always good. Like, you know,
this is all new. Like this is a prototype.
Yeah.
It's never been done before.
Yeah, we were just talking about materials, emailing back. We did the course in March, and then we've just been emailing back and forth about what do you think you need. And I was like, well, I made give them a list. And the only thing that would have rather done this with cedar logs, but this is going to be easier to manage. Yeah, for now, and also for maybe other people to duplicate and things like that. So.
Absolutely.
And the next one I'd like to be wider, of course. But since we had to carry it, we had the whole weather thing.
5x10.
Yeah, 5x10 at the tip. Yeah.
It's beautiful design. I've seen the styrofoam ones.
Yeah, and the other thing is like K-Pop doesn't work. We can pull this out and put in 30-gallon barrels.
Yeah.
And so we put plastic in, but it's not a lot, it would probably float too high with it. We'd have to do 15-gallon barrels or something like that. But I think that the K-Pop is going to work, and the bamboo. All right, you mighty brutes.
That would be you.
How are we going to do this?
Hi, guys. It really looks beautiful. I'm impressed. All right, we got to turn. So that end go out now, and this end hold still. And now that end is going to go on the trailer first. Or do you think it's going to be? I don't think we can go sideways onto the trailer, can we?
We're going to have to turn it.
Yeah, so now that end's got to go forward. Do you guys want to go up the ramp, or do you want to go and over the plywood, or?
We need a few more people left. Maybe you guys can
I'm going to switch ends.
We're just going to keep.
Woo!
It's all right. Yeah.
I'll drive it.
Amazon.
You're driving.
Oh no, I got my overly white truck.
I think we should tie it in.
I've got a strap.
That's why we have engineers, because I wouldn't have tied it in.
I've done it where we didn't. And pancake down the highway.
Right. Well, I just got a job to do one for the city of Mountain View to install 32. The last one I did in September, the lake I did in November, December had 22. And then, the wastewater treatment systems have big, really concentrate a lot of floating wetlands in them. We've been making them. I've never ridden you through my whole PowerPoint, have I?
I think you flipped through it quick. With
Oh yeah, it was quick though. It was on the fast. Yeah. I'll show you again.
So,
Awesome.
the East Lake, was it just, how many in East Lake?
Just 3 25-footers.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it cleaned up.
15 acres, man. I wouldn't believe it, but even the guy who used to apply chemicals in it, like when I did Lago Santo Diego, he was like, "I'm not applying chemicals till you get those islands out there. I can't wait for that." And and he's been a great partner because he just sees it and he sees it working and he doesn't want to apply the chemicals if he doesn't have to. Unlike most of the lake managers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's really lucky, that.
It's like, it's got me sort of feeling like all these projects that we work on.
But okay, so you're a landscape architect. Think about the potential of this one as a water feature. I mean, maybe it's slightly less organic, but then you have human areas for this for hanging out and swimming off of and everything. So use this image when you're thinking of drawing, sketching out stuff for the pollen community, right?
I was thinking about your sort of wood deck idea.
Yeah.
Having these sort of spots that extend out.
Yeah.
And just get that water level
We're going to
down.
want to cinch it down.
Maybe for a subframe we got to use HDP, but the rest can be all natural material. Like between the HDP, we're going to be using coconut coir and bamboo and lashed on and everything like that, so we can go over to a more natural floating island and still have a super functional rectilinear and Bougie.
What's the life? 2 years
Now we
before
go on
it
top of the plant.
starts to break down, or what do you think?
I think we got more than 2.
I mean, the
3 to
cedar-
5.
The cedar's going to be there for a long time.
Yeah.
So you can pull it out and kind of use that cedar. Kind of.
I think the bamboo is gonna. I think we might have stumbled. We don't know about the K-pop yet, right? But we might have stumbled into something that's got a decent lifespan.
Just in time for the apple parade. That'll be our parade float. Anybody want to ride on?
I do.
Oh, cool. I knew you were crazy, man. I love it.
Said somebody on the front with an apple in their mouth, hey, it's the apple.
Yeah, we're set.
Okay, a few of these. Okay, now one thing to keep in mind when we get there: a few of these plants in the Jiffy plants, we got to get some of that soil matrix in there. I noticed they just got their native soil in there.
Oh,
So when we get there,
a bunch have some in the bottom.
so they have it in the bottom. That might be enough.
All of these. I'll put some on top.
So Tika has offered to add one last element. I mean, we got the fungi in there. We got all of the elements. I'm sure we got the insects, the animals, and everything like that. But Tika has offered to bring us one last, and these are these bio-infused, life-supporting clay discs. And we're going to put, Tika's going to place them in here, and they're going to help bring life to the island and sort of also protect it from some of the things that aren't so good that are going around right now.
And you had some experience with some since the last time we were here?
I did, and I've got every member of my family having it between them and their cell phones.
Okay. But yeah, so basically these are working with the exact same principles of what's going on here with the geometry of nature. And we'll just, if anybody wants to find 4 spots, 4 corners, stick them in a plant or somewhere, just bury them. They're just harmonizers for Mother Earth, and it just adds to amplify all the intention that you're doing, and it anchors it. And it's also programmed to
You do one.
go for it.
You've been working.
For like if we were by the solar panel in the riverbed or something like that, if we want to stick a few in strategic locations, we can. I brought some more.
Bury it in.
Anything you want, Tom.
In there.
Whatever you think is right.
Yeah. It says it's once 5. How many did we put in?
I think we got 4 in there now.
You do one.
The 5th element.
Yes. All right.
Thank you, Tika. And I think maybe the people might say, well, that's not science or that's not, but so much of the ecological design that we do, we'd like to break it down all into science and back into the science, but we don't. We approach it like we just put in those plates. We know that it's beneficial. We know it's going to do something good, or it won't do anything. But to do ecological design means being able to do stuff we can't quantify, thinking it's going to do something positive. And that's why I thought that was a great way of ending this planting before we'd get the launching. And I don't know if Living Web thought of providing champagne for this launching, but if they didn't, somebody might want to drive by the cider company.
But, you know, just in conclusion, with the principles that you're using with all the geometry of nature, because everything is natural, and you have the green energy from the plants, and you have the sunlight and the water, and it's creating etheric gold energy. And that's what actually supports life, and that's what these things are doing in a different way when you can't have a floating island, you know, in urban environments where there isn't a pond and water and all of that. So how do you replace what water, trees, and bees already do?
Right on.
Sort of the idea.
Yeah, and just my experience with this, and I shouldn't make it too much of a testimonial, but the first time Tika gave me one of those things, I had my elbow hadn't worked for about 2 months because somebody dropped something and hyperextended it, and literally the next day I kind of slept with it in my hand for some reason, and the next day I kind of had full use of my elbow back again. It was kind of, I know that sounds a little bit too much, but it seemed to work that way for me. So there is that.
Nature life.
We've got an etheric bottle of champagne. We can
Oh, yeah.
and golden light.
Yes, that's it.
Let's get this thing in the water because the engineers and I want to see what level this floats at.
All right, and it's not raining now.
Yep.
Well, it will be when we get there.
Yeah, we're going that way, right?
Yeah. Oh, let me get this other bucket in the truck.
I have somebody like that.
Do we have something to cut the rope with? If not, we should take that razor knife.
Johnathan, for the Jiffy pots, if we just used the clay without the matrix, was that a problem?
Depends on where it floats.
Okay, so if it's in contact with the water, the clay will be able to...
Right, if it's got a good contact, but if it needs to draw it out, then we probably dump out the Jiffy pot, put a little soil matrix in, wash off some of the clay, and do that. Because
All right.
the clay is great for the wetland plants. They love that covering, and if they're saturated in it anyway, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But if for some reason it has to draw up, that's the whole purpose of the coconut coir. Yeah, let's move.